Well, hi everyone, welcome. Welcome back to a Zoom program. We're recording this one for later use to put up onto YouTube and the like. So we will just do a general program. It's toward the end of the year now, so we want to just get into, winding down for the year but keeping our fitness. So we might just start with some just gentle walking on the spot. You can even go into a little bit of a jog there. Good to have so many people at the end of the year. Well done for finishing. That's it's not normal. You're not normal people in the greatest possible sense. Because the normal thing would be to not get up in the morning and exercise, but you guys continue to do it. So well done. All right, we're going to come forward. And then back. If you can't jog, just sort of walk briskly. Just little steps. Okay, now let's just try and get our arms into it a bit. And then we're going to go left and right in just a second. Okay. And that will, as you go left and right, you see how your arms kind of go almost like left and right. Like one of those characters on those old TV shows where they go left and right across the screen, but you're just trying to get your body moving. Try and keep your feet facing forward and your knees facing forward. Just try and come on screen a bit of it. And now we're going to do squares, so we're going to go forward, sideways, backwards, and back to the side. Other way around, sideways, forward, sideways. Good. So just sort of kind of squat in place, and we'll just do those big arm swings. Just try and get real comfortable. Almost think of it as a loosening up rather than a full-blooded effort. Just try and get those shoulders going. That's it. I'm going to go step out, lift your knee up, step out, lift your knee up, step out, up and across. It's almost like kind of like rainbow type arc type movements. Your hands can just be on your hips for balance. So in and out. Now don't go too deep if that hurts your hip or anything like that. We're just trying to open up our hips. Good. Okay, and then we're gonna, this one. Got the wrong around. Just trying to bring your knee towards your elbow. Doesn't matter if you can't get it all the way. Just kind of try and get it close, and you should probably feel it a little bit in your trunk as well as your hips. That's it. Just gentle. All right, so leaning forward and just pulling up the bucket from the well. And again, try and get that trunk rotating. We're still in warm up. We don't want to be full-blooded yet. And then we're pressing and stopping. Pressing and stopping. And then we'll just do some squat and punch. That's it. Just excuse me for just 1 second. Just keep going with that. I'll be ready. Okay. So keep going. Sorry, folks. We'll just finish squat and like so. And then we're going to kind of squat and reach, squat and reach. Again, if you can't reach overhead, you can kind of reach forward. Like so. And then we're going to do just the slow squat and pushes. Good. Don't ever do these if you're feeling tired or anything like that. And then we'll just go back into the jogging. See if we can do that imaginary skipping. All right, we're going to go do the skaters, and you can go a bit more aggressively into this if you want, or you can slow it down, just depending on where you're at. Try and bring your arm out, straight, and keep your fingers stretched out. Of course, you can do any of these type movements with hand weights. I just recommend for these big sweeping movements that if you're doing them with hand weights for a cardio, do it with like no more than about 2 kilos, because otherwise it gets too much. So somewhere between half and 2 kilos if you are going to do it. Otherwise, believe it or not, when you can just sort of walk right into it and increase the pace, that'll get your heart rate up. So good. All right, so just walking on the spot again. And then we're just going to do some kind of modified star jumps. So tap, tap, tap. So, all right, and sort of like a squat and a propeller at the same time. Good, everyone. Well done. Try and just get your body into that kind of smooth flow where you're not really thinking about it heaps. You're just letting it happen. Good. And we're going to do the chops. So start down, chop up. Start down, chop up. And other side. So squat down, chop up. And then sideways chop. And see if you can try and twist your bottom leg so it's kind of like you're squatting and twisting. Try and get that whole coordination going. One side, your non-natural side, your non-dominant side will feel a bit weird. Oh, got another nice thing. This is recorded. Me trying to sneeze. How funny is that? I'm just going to sort of get down this way. It's funny you decide to record something and the centre's closed at the moment, but then people come to the door and people, it's funny, isn't it? You make your plans. So chopping down. Good. Excellent. Just give yourselves a bit of a shakedown. Bit of a shakedown. Good. Okay, just open up that chest a bit more. You don't have to be too vigorous with this. You can be nice and gentle, or depending on what you're up to. And then press out. Nice and big circles. Fingers up. Just do the hip circles too. Good. Just some knee circles. Hope you feel kind of warmed up. A bit more of an active warm up today. Good. Good. All right. What we're going to do is we might practice that hip hinge again. Remember how we've been talking about that hip hinge? So we'll keep talking about it for a little while yet, until everyone feels really confident in it, because it's a really core skill for lifting things or bending over and that sort of stuff. So we're just going to literally try that hip hinge. So the hip hinge is basically when you're bending forward, but your shoulders, upper back, lower back are all kind of like connected. So your hips come back a bit, but your chest stays up. So again, this is not a strength exercise, this is just a technique. So ordinarily you will get a bit of back muscle work from this. But it's like a bow, like a weighted bow. So just practice that. So proud chest, imagine there's a rod connecting your upper back to your lower back. And you're just allowing your hips to come back. Your legs can be straight for the purpose of this exercise. I like to encourage people just to have a little bit of core activation, so just drawing in just gently for this one. Just see how that goes. Now, another way people can learn to do this is imagine that you're at the car door, but you're carrying groceries, and you've got to shut the car door with your backside. Like that's the same movement. So it's just like, you know, shutting the car door with your backside. And that can just really help you get that movement. So really, really important. Good. Okay, so that's the movement. Now, if you have your weight with you, get that weight now, because what we're going to do is a set of our kind of Romanian deadlifts. They've got a few different names for a few similar exercises. I'm going to demonstrate with an exercise band. So you can do this with a barbell, you can do this with a band. What you want to do is have a fair degree of tension on it. Right, so that's really cool, like a guitar string taut. And what we're going to do is that same movement. Can you see how that's the same movement? The only difference is now my knees are bending just that little bit. All right, so I'm keeping my chest up. And just get the hang of that. So you don't want to be bowing forward too much. You want to sort of keep your chest up. You should be able to still see your face in the zoom, right? That's like this. It's almost the same movement, well, it's essentially the same movement if you were going to pick up a wheelbarrow, you know, your wheelbarrow. Does that make sense if you can visualize that?
Adam, where should the weight be? If you're doing it with a weight, should it be sort of at your stomach or?
Oh, sure. So if this was if this was a if that was a bar, right? You can have the bar
got this thing
like that. I actually can't see. I can't see you on the screen, unfortunately. So I'll show you. That's if you've got a bar. So you start kind of like just below your hips, and you just lower it to below your knees. If you've got a dumbbell, right? So that's a dumbbell. You can have one either side, and do it like that way.
Okay, I've got a Y. Is it a Y something?
A Y bell, yeah. A Y bell. If you've just got one Y bell, you can hold. You can hold it like that.
Yeah.
I would do it like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, that's a good question. That's a good question. So that's the cool thing about a lot of exercises is that no matter if you've got a band or a barbell or a dumbbell or a Y bell or kettlebell, you can just kind of do the same exercise but just modify it. So good. All right, have a rest. Now we're going to do now that I'm going to consider out the technique warm up. So hopefully you feel like you're getting that kind of movement. We're going to do 3 more sets of anywhere between 8 and 15 reps. And I want you to be working kind of about 7 or 8 out of 10 effort. Okay, so we'll have a good rest between sets, but we'll try and work at that effort level. Okay, so this is the more formal strength training. Excellent. All right. Are we ready? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 10. You just stop anywhere after 8 reps. 11, 12. Good. Have a rest. So you should be feeling that, obviously in the thigh muscles. You should be feeling it probably in your backside, maybe even your trunk as well. Ideally, it doesn't matter at first where you're feeling it precisely, because the idea is just to get the technique right, and then over time your body will use all the muscles it needs to use. So if you did that about 7 out of 10 effort, you should be a little bit tired. Like you should be like, I'm not ready quite yet to go to the next one. Okay, and if you are ready within like 10 seconds, it's probably not heavy enough. You want to have a weight that's heavy enough that you feel like you're ready to go again in the next half a minute, 45 seconds kind of thing. Excellent. All right, so we'll go again. So if you need to just increase the intensity, just increase your intensity a bit, and that might be doing it a little bit more oomph with more oomph. That's the scientific term, isn't it? All right, so you could just be like down and really explode up. Keep that chest up. That's the main thing people do wrong with this one, is they kind of do a full bow. So chest up, but your bottom goes back. They're the 2 main things. Chest up, bottom back. Chest up, bottom back. Good. Have a rest. Have a rest. Hope you're finding that sort of, for those who've been practicing this over the last month or 2, I know that not everyone's been at every session, but for the people who've been sort of seeing this thread, I hope you're starting to feel like it's like hitting the spot, so to speak. It does take a few months to learn techniques such as these ones, because it looks easy, but it's quite complex, you know, just to try and get all those things working. We'll do another set in just a second. Another 15 seconds or so. But like you can see, this one is so functional. So, you know, think of all the things we lift in the gardening. You know, ideally, if you're carrying around like a boulder, like you're going to be wanting to lift it like that. Yeah, you can. All right. So just get enough tension on it. That means what? Good. Okay. Pop that weight down for a moment. And just, you may need, some people may need just a chair or a bench just for fingertip support. You might not, but if you want to, you can hold on. Now this one is just some quick, short kind of in and out. And you want to feel it kind of in the hip. Okay, good. You can see it tests your balance as well, doesn't it? So just short, like little arcs. Steady yourself as you need to. Sometimes you just need to put your toe down to steady yourself, or you can do it with your fingers. You'll feel it on both legs. Good. Good. Just do some relaxing movements. We're going to do one more set of those ones. All right. Good. On this side. Good. Excellent. Have a rest. Have a drink if you need to. We're going to do some a more power-based exercise. So when we talk strength is the ability to move force. So the stronger you are, the more force you can move. Power is the ability to move that force quickly. That's the difference. And you've got to train both things. So in the event of overbalancing in a fall, right, you need power because you need to be able to reverse that quickly. Okay. You know, think of a tackle in football. It's got to be not just strong, but it's got to be quick. So this is what we're going to do. So the exercise we're going to do is like just a squat press. Okay. So you can do this with your weights. Okay. Or you can do it with a band. I'm going to show you the band version. If your band's long enough, you can do both hands at the same time. Like so. If it's not long enough, you might just need to do one hand at a time. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. All right, so ideally, probably this. Hopefully my band's going to not break. All right, we're going to do squat, press. Yeah, it's not too short. Okay, I'll show you how to do it as if there was a band there. So squat, press, squat, press, squat, press. And you can do it with the dumbbells. Now, if your shoulders struggle with overhead activity, you can go more forward, yeah, squat forward. But if you can handle it, squat press. Okay, good. So we're going to do, let's do 15 of these, but I want you to go deeper into the squat. So squat, press, squat, press, if you can. You can try it just without the weight, like me. If you want to just get the feel of the movement, if you're confident, you can go straight into a weight. But this is a big exercise. Whole body. Good. Have a rest. Well done. Yeah, it's heavy, isn't it? Big exercise. So we call these exercises in the strength and conditioning world compound exercises, because we're doing not just a simple one arm, one joint movement, we're doing a whole body. And the more of these compound big movements you do, one, it's better for things like weight maintenance because you just burn so much more energy. But it's also good for strengthening whole regions at the same time and building more muscle mass, bone strength, all that sort of stuff. Saves a lot of time because you don't have to do it all separately, just do one. So a lot of the exercises we do in these classes are sort of compound exercises for that reason. Okay, we're going to do something similar, but we're just going to do 5 squat jumps. So it's similar to like that, but we're going to go down and we're going to explode up. All right, see if you can leave the ground just a little bit if you can. If that causes you too much pain in the knees or you're worried about balance, just kind of just give it some, but without leaving the ground. You might find you can give it some and come up into your tiptoes. You know, so that's kind of the option you can do if you've got pain. So squat up onto your toes, squat, press, and if you don't have pain, you can do a little jump. So squat. So hopefully you got, yeah, that's it. So you're going to do about 5 or so. Well done. It's hard work, isn't it? That's hard work. We're going to do one more of them, and then we might do a cool down. All right, let's go. 5 more of these. So squat up, squat up, squat up, squat up. Good. It's a way to build power without too much joint force, if that makes sense. Good. We'll do one more thing and do a cool down. So we're going to do the lateral lunges. So what I want you to do is have your feet nice and wide apart. So remember the hip hinge, right? You can hold a weight here, right? If you've got it. And we're going to do 1, 2. So I'm hinging down, pushing back up, straightening back up. Hinging down, pushing back up. Try and get that smooth movement going. It's still a good exercise without a weight, folks. This is really harder with a weight. And you can go down as deep as you need to. Right. You'll get a stretch as well in your hip if you go down. Good. Have a rest. Have a rest. You might want to sway your hips from side to side just to rest them, or you can get a drink, whatever you feel. So whenever you're doing these big exercises, there is a little bit of standing around just as you recover. That's the good part, isn't it? All right, let's go again. You can have your feet turned out just a touch if you need to. And we're going to go 1, 2, 4, 5. Excellent. Well done. So hopefully you feel like you've done a fair bit of lower body kind of strength work today, because we have, so you'll be feeling it. What we might do just for the last 5 minutes or so is just warm down. So Nice and steady. Nice and slow. Feel free to have a drink if you need to. Just warming down. Try and help your body to almost go a bit floppy with this one. Get your breathing rate back under control. We're going to do some figure of eights. Figure of eights. So it's like tracing the figure of eight sign with your hips. Good. You might want to hold on to something. We're just going to do some ins and outs. Ins and outs. That's it. Other side. Just swings back and forth. Well, you've had your coffee and tea this morning, I think. All right, this one. I hope you've enjoyed this. So next year, we'll keep up this intensity for those who are able to, just so we can keep building. Just so we can get building on the gains that you've been making. Try and see this as a long-term pursuit as well. You want to gain fitness like how a tree grows, not all at once. You know, like if you planted something in your garden long ago and you go, when did they get so big? You never really noticed it. It was just bit by bit. I think if you and the strongest, I'll have to get Stuart to correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that the strongest trees are ones that grow the slowest. I don't know if I'm right there, but I think that might be something. But I think in fitness, I think people who've built that over the long term do tend to really hold on to those gains because they just keep going. All right, folks, well done. I'll just take us off record.